What's going on, guys? Hybrid here. With the release of the Crown Tundra, I think all of the major content for Sword and Shield will finally come to a close. There are indeed rumors of a third and even fourth DLC pack, but since Game Freak is starting to sell physical copies of Sword and Shield with the expansion pack, I think it's safe to say that these are indeed the final major updates to the game. And for those of you that are yet to buy the game and want to know the version exclusive Pokemon and trainers for each version with the DLC, then you've come to the right video, as I'm going to be talking about all the version exclusives in each version of the game. Just to clarify, I will only be covering the version exclusive Pokemon and trainers, as those are what I consider to be the major differences, and I won't be mentioning anything else. We'll also be cutting the video into different sections: the base game, the Isle of Armor, and the Crown Tundra. So if you need to see a certain section, then be sure to make use of the timestamps below. But with all that out of the way, let's get started. We'll start off with the base games by talking about the old returning Pokemon, and then we'll move on to the new Gen 8 Pokemon. Starting off with the old Pokemon that returned exclusively to Pokemon Sword, we have Dino, Zweilous, Hydreigon, Jangmo, Hakamo, Como, Gatida, Gatarita, Gothitelle, Seedot, Nuzleaf, Shiftry, Rufflet, Braviary, Swirlix, Slurpuff, Scraggy, Scrafty, Sock, Basculin Redstripe, Mawile, Solrock, Passimian, and Turtonator. And for Shield, the old returning exclusives are Larvitar, Pupitar, Tyranitar, Goomy, Sliggoo, Goodra, Solosis, Duosion, Reuniclus, Lotad, Lombre, Ludicolo, Vullaby, Mandibuzz, Spritzee, Aromatisse, Krogunk, Toxicroak, Throw, Basculin Bluestripe, Sableye, Lunatone, Oranguru, and Drampa. As for the new Pokemon in Sword, we have Galarian Farfetch'd, Surfetch'd, Galarian Darumaka, Galarian Darmanitan, Flapple, Indeedee Male, Stonejourner, and Zacian. Going back to the new Pokemon Shield, we start with Galarian Ponyta, Galarian Rapidash, Galarian Corsola, Cursula, Appleton, Indeedee Female, Ice-Q, and of course, Zamazenta. Honestly, there's not that many version exclusives as I was expecting, but a lot of the old ones were to be expected as they're mainly all counterpart pairs. Or even if they weren't counterpart pairs originally, they kinda made counterpart pairs to fit in as exclusives, kinda like what happened with the Pseudos here. I'd imagine that most people look towards the new gen Pokemon when choosing which version of the game they wanted, or they simply just chose depending on whether they wanted Zacian or Zamazenta. There are some interesting things to note about a few of these version exclusives though. The first is that though Throw and Sock are version exclusive in the wild, there is an in-game trade in Surchester where a man will give you a Throw and Sword and a Sock and Shield for a Vanillish, essentially giving you the counterpart that you normally can't find in the wild in those games. There's also another trade in Stow-N-Side where you can get a Hatenna and Sword and an Impidimp and Shield for a Maractus, but you can get either one of those Pokemon regardless of the version, so it's not that important. Something else that's not too important is the gender difference between Indeedee. Yes, Indeedee male and female have their own unique abilities and stat distribution, so they are important in that sense. But even if you can't catch them in the wild, as long as you breed one that you caught in the wild, you can actually get both genders in the game. It's just that you won't be able to find both in the wild. And to wrap up the Pokemon of the base game, each version technically had version exclusive Gigantamax forms: Machamp, Colossal, and Flapple in Sword, and Gengar, Lapras, and the oh so different Appleton in Shield. And the thing is, while these Gigantamaxes are still exclusive to the wild of each version, you can get their non-Gigantamax forms in the wild. And with the addition of the Isle of Armor's Max Soup, you can give any Pokemon that's capable of Gigantamaxing the Gigantamax factor except Melmetal. So technically, you can get these Gigantamax Pokemon irrespective of the version. Except Flapple and Appleton, of course, but hey, appearance-wise, they're the same thing anyways, so you're not missing out on much. And with the Isle of Armor, you're not missing out on much either, as there are only 3 exclusive Pokemon to each version. In Sword, we have Clauncher, Clawitzer, and Pinsir, while in Shield, we have Skrelp, Dragalge, and Heracross. So really, not much at all. A very underwhelming section here, to be honest. But with the amount of legendaries in the Crown Tundra, you know that we're about to have a whole lot more version exclusives coming right up. But of course, we have to talk about the regular Pokemon first. And just like the Isle of Armor, we don't have too many. For Sword, our exclusives are Ammonite, Amistar, Bagon, Shelgon, and Salamence. And in Shield, our exclusives are Kabuto, Kabutops, Gible, Gabite, and Garchomp. And for legendary Pokemon that you can get through Dynamax Adventures in Sword, we have Ho-Oh, Latios, Groudon, Dialga, Tornadus, Reshiram, Xerneas, and Solgaleo. And for the legendaries that you can get through Dynamax Adventures in Shield, we have Lugia, Latias, Kyogre, Palkia, Thundurus, Zekrom, Yveltal, and Lunala. Overall, this is a good amount of exclusive legendary Pokemon. It's a much better number than the crazy amount that we had in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon anyways. But the best part about these legendaries is that, though they're version exclusive, as long as you connect online with a friend from the opposite version who's doing a raid battle of the legendaries that are exclusive to that game, you can actually capture that exclusive legendary for yourself in the version that you're playing. So though they're exclusive, they're pretty easy to obtain, much easier than having to trade for them. Heck, they're so easy to come across that people on the internet are currently confused as to which Pokemon are exclusive to each game and which aren't. The same concept of connecting to different raids to obtain exclusive Pokemon also applies to the previously mentioned exclusive Gigantamax Pokemon. But since we already have the Max Soup, I didn't think it was worth mentioning then. Also, just to clarify, there seems to be some confusion regarding the new Regis and the horses. People seem to think that Regieleki and Regidrago are version exclusive, and a few seem to think the same about Glacier and Spectrier as well. But that's not true. Remember how in the Isle of Armor, it was your choice as to which form of Urshifu you wanted to get? Yeah, similarly with the horses, it's your choice as to which horse you want, depending on the way you progress through the story. And for the Regis, depending on the pattern that you make at the Split Decision Ruins, you'll get the Regi based off of that pattern. Just be sure to eventually get the other Regi that you're missing out on, and have all 5 of them in your party, if you want something special. There's a certain legendary gift Pokemon that we also need to talk about. Nebby! Or Fufi. Fufi the Cosmog rather. Cosmog will fully evolve into Solgaleo or Lunala depending on your version of the game. Solgaleo in Sword and Lunala in Shield. I know you can get both of these in the Dynamax Adventures of that version anyways, so it might seem kind of pointless. But it's likely to ensure that you have access to both Cosmog and Cosmoem, and technically, this isn't a part of the Crown Tundra, because you could have transferred Cosmog into Pokemon Sword and Shield from Pokemon Home earlier, and you still would have known that it evolves this way. But since Cosmog is a gift Pokemon in the Crown Tundra, now it's worth a mention. And finally, for the exclusive trainers in Sword and Shield, we have Bee and Alistair, the gym leaders of Stow-N-Side, where Bee is exclusive to Sword, and Alistair is exclusive to Shield. And the other city to have the only other exclusive trade, that being Surchester, also has the only other exclusive gym leaders, being Gordy and Melanie, with Gordy being exclusive to Sword, and Melanie to Shield. Continuing with the base games, I just want to mention Swordward and Shieldbird real quick. These two are in both versions of the game, and you actually get to battle both of them in Adult Battle with Hop. However, when it comes to single battles, you only face Swordward and Sword, and Shieldbird and Shield. Yeah, who would have figured? With the Isle of Armor, it's the first time that we see version exclusive rivals with Clara and Avery. Clara being exclusive to Sword, and Avery being exclusive to Shield. And with the Crown Tundra, we only got like one new major character to battle, and Peony is in both versions of the game, so no real exclusivity there. However, when it comes to the Galarian Storm Tournament, it is important to mention that all of the exclusive trainers that we mentioned earlier will be able to participate in the tournament. However, just like before, they're only available and exclusive to the version that they normally appear in. So you have to play both versions if you want to see the interactions between every single character. Or you can just simply watch some videos. Hey, before you go, just want to say, I got a bunch more Crown Tundra content coming your way shortly, so be sure to stay tuned for that later this week. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you found this video very informative. Let me know if you did, and let me know how you're enjoying the Pokemon DLC, alright? Take care of yourselves, have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys over on the next video, alright? Later.